We are about 15 or so miles northwest of world-famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. The excitement brewing here in South Florida as a moment ago the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the Atlanta Falcons. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. First down, Mayfield. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Mayfield on play action. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up second down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Play fake. Mayfield. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Now for the point after. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Here comes Jalen Waddle from his end zone. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. They fake the give. Now Kaepernick. Flushed out right. And trying to get it to Samuel, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 49. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
A first down throw for Mayfield. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
Mayfield off the play fake. Oh, and it's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Ridley. Picked off by Eric Rowe. There he goes, left side. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown. That's a tough spot as a quarterback, Charles. You want to get rid of it, but you see what can happen when you do try to get rid of it with pressure.
Yeah, how about the pressure coming without them having to blitz? That's when you know things are clicking for your defense, and the end result, they end up gaining 6 points.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete.
One thing that you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Mayfield looks to throw. Now a diving effort right sideline. He's got it. This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead is up to 8. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Waddle is going to elect to not bring this out, and instead his guys will begin at the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And this will be swung out for Lindsey. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Now Kaepernick, escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Eluding the pressure right. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Mayfield on first down. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Touchdown! That's caught. Kyle Pitts with his second touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So that pretty conclusively, I might add, shows you the perils of going for it and not making it on fourth down. One play, touchdown.
Yeah, and I've got to put this on the man in charge, the head coach. He made the decision to go for it. To me, when punting was the only decision to make, and it backfired on him in a big way.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Waddle will return this from the end zone. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover.
Offensively, they like their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. On 3rd and long, it's Kaepernick. And that will be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Now remember, they were unsuccessful earlier in this first quarter. Going for it on 4th. They're going to try a second time. Now they go for it on 4th down, but that pass is knocked away and incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked up by Eric Rowe. And the Dolphins are going to get it back here just past the 35. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the... Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. It's Eric Harris who picks it. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Well, dare I say it, it's kind of quid pro quo. Both defenses now with an interception return for a touchdown.
Your vocabulary, sir. Well done.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. Here's Koo to kick it off. This taken in at the goal line. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Past midfield, look out. Jalen Waddle. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Miami. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him. Kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. They're going to keep it on the ground. And he will get into the end zone to shave 2 more points off half the deficit. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball.
And Mayfield again with the interception, his third. Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Lindsey. Stops shy of the 45 despite some powerful running. Dante Fowler in on the stop.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
On second down, right back to Lindsey. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Kaepernick now on first down. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage. Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. Second and 11. Now Kaepernick. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
They'll try and run forward with Lindsey. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. They're going with Lindsey. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. To throw is Kaepernick. Flush to his right. That'll be caught for a Dolphin. Preston Williams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have got it back to a 1-score game. Kaepernick looking to throw for it. Buying time to his left. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere. Seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
And last time, one play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one. Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
A second down throw for Mayfield. Flushed out right. He's letting this one go for full, and that's caught inside the 35. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Jalen Phillips brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Mayfield letting one go deep for the end zone. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Will Fuller, as the first half is winding down. And the Falcons will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead. So now taking it about the 1. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. As they'll take over with just 13 seconds to go before the break. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Watt. seconds of the first half. And the Dolphins are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Now Brian Flores going to leave the offense out there to go for two. They'll try and run it here. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Falcons grab it. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10, 5. And can you believe this? It's 2 points the other way on the fumble return. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second. It's a squibber picked up around the 27. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Here's Koo to kick it off. Waddle is going to elect to not bring this out, and instead his guys will begin at the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now a handoff for Lindsey. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Got Gordon open, completes it. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. They're going for it. It's Kaepernick. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off at the 49. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Tough one there. First drive of the 3rd quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be in even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
Following the interception, Mayfield eluding the pressure right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. 3rd quarter from Miami. This is 2nd and 10. Throwing, Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, his 3rd touchdown of the game, his 8th on the year. And the Falcons turn that interception into a touchdown. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Waddle will return this from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
On second down, right back to Lindsey. And he'll get this one up to the 26. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Eric Harris who picks it. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far. But a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Throwing now is Kaepernick. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Kaepernick to throw for it on 4th. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And that will force a turnover on downs. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And they will finally catch him, but not before he gets it to the 11. It's a big play there. To throw, Mayfield. Flush to his right. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Waddle will return this from the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. The throw here going to be complete to Gordon. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
They'll run on first down. Samuel, and he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Working from the gun, it's Kaepernick. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 36. That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all of these picks have been his fault. You know, some of the throws, yes, but there have been a good number of them where he hasn't been helped by his own receivers, and they've turned into interceptions. So he knows if he keeps firing, perhaps good things can happen, not just in this game, but especially in later ones.
Mayfield down. Flushed out right. He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Working with his 2nd and 4. Here's Mayfield. High throw, but the catch is made. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Mayfield with it once more. Intercepted. Picked up by A.J. Terrell. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. So after the INT, it's Kaepernick. This will be caught. It's Samuel. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Kaepernick. Incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Kaepernick now to throw. Again looking for Samuel, this time the catch made. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. To throw, it's Kaepernick. Escaping the pressure right. And now here is another interception. It's Eric Harris who picks it. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Mayfield. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Eluding the pressure right. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. Mayfield on play action. Going for it all. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Now Younghoe Koo for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's going to be brought down inside the 5 at the 3.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Choose the team you want to start your franchise with. Continue ahead to
And now on the clock, it's the Raiders. Okay, it's the Rams up now. They're on the clock. All right, next up, the Titans are on the clock. And now on the clock, it's the 49ers. On the clock now, it's the Buccaneers. And the Panthers on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. The Packers are now on the clock. Okay, the Bears are on the clock now. Okay, the Texans up now. They're on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Lions. The Cardinals on the clock now. What direction will they go? All right, next up, the Colts are on the clock. Now the Seahawks are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? The Saints are now on the clock. Okay, the Eagles on the clock now. All right, on the clock now, the Cowboys. The Browns are now on the clock. Okay, it's the Patriots on the clock now. The Falcons are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Broncos, and time is ticking. The Chiefs on the clock now. All right, next up, the football team on the clock. All right, it's now the Vikings' turn. They're up. The Vikings are on the clock now. What direction will they go? The football team now on the clock. Let's see what they do. The Chiefs are up now. Let's see what direction they go. Okay, the Steelers on the clock now. Okay, next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. The Patriots on the clock right now. Let's see who they have their eye on. Okay, the Browns on the clock now. Now the Dolphins are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Okay, it's the Cowboys now on the clock. All right, it's the Eagles now on the clock. It's the Saints now on the clock. The Seahawks are on the clock now. Okay, the Ravens are on the clock now. And now we turn to the Colts. It's their selection. Okay, here we go. The Cardinals now on the clock. It's the Lions now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. All right, the Bears are now on the clock. The Panthers now on the clock. All right, next up, the Bucks are on the clock. Okay, here we go. The 49ers now on the clock. The Titans on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. On the clock now, it's the Rams, and time is ticking. Okay, here we go. The Raiders now on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Bills. Okay, it's the Bills now on the clock. The Raiders on the clock now. What direction will they go? And the Rams now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? The Titans now on the clock. All right, it's now the 49ers' turn. They're up. Okay, it's the Bucks now on the clock. Now we turn to the Panthers. They're on the clock. All right, the Packers are now on the clock. The Bears are up now. Let's see what direction they go. All right, now on the clock, the Texans. The Cardinals are now on the clock. Okay, here we go. The Colts now on the clock. The Ravens are up now. Let's see what direction they go. Okay, next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Saints. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Cowboys on the clock now. What direction will they go? Now we turn to the Browns. They're on the clock. All right, next up, the Patriots are on the clock. All right, next up, the Falcons are on the clock. Now the Broncos are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? The Steelers are now on the clock. Okay, here we go. Washington now on the clock. Okay, here we go. The Vikings on the clock now. All right, the Chiefs are now on the clock. Now we turn to the Steelers. They're on the clock. And the Chargers now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? All right, the Broncos are now on the clock. Okay, it's the Falcons now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. And the Browns on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go in. The Dolphins now on the clock. The Cowboys now on the clock. Now we turn to the Eagles. They're on the clock. The Saints are on the clock now. What direction will they go? On the clock now, it's the Seahawks, and time is ticking. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. All right, now it's the Cardinals' turn. They're up. And the Texans now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Now the Packers are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Okay, the Panthers on the clock now. The Buccaneers are on the clock now. The 49ers on the clock now. What direction will they go? On the clock now, it's the Titans. All right, now on the clock, the Rams. The Raiders now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. It's the Bills now on the clock. All right, now it's the Raiders' turn. They're up. The Rams on the clock now. Okay, it's the Titans now on the clock. The 49ers now on the clock. The Bucks on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. All right, it's the Panthers now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Packers, and time is ticking. On the clock now, the Bears. The Lions on the clock now. And now on the clock, it's the Cardinals. The Colts now on the clock. Let's see what they do. All right, the Ravens are now on the clock. All right, the Seahawks are now on the clock. Okay, it's the Saints now on the clock. And the Eagles on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. It's the Cowboys now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Falcons. The Broncos are on the clock now. And the Steelers on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. On the clock now, the Chiefs. The Vikings are now on the clock. Okay, the Chiefs are on the clock now. All right, it's the Steelers now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Chargers, and time is ticking. On the clock now, it's the Broncos, and time is ticking. The Falcons on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. Okay, it's the Patriots on the clock now. The Browns are now on the clock. All right, the Dolphins are now on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Cowboys. Okay, the Eagles on the clock now. The Saints are now on the clock. Now the Seahawks are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? On the clock now, the Ravens. All right, next up, the Colts are on the clock. The Cardinals on the clock now. What direction will they go? Okay, it's the Lions now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Texans, and time is ticking. The Bears are now on the clock. Okay, next up, it's the Packers on the clock. And the Panthers on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go. On the clock now, it's the Buccaneers. And now on the clock, it's the 49ers. All right, next up, the Titans are on the clock. Okay, it's the Rams up now. They're on the clock. And now on the clock, it's the Raiders. The Bills on the clock now. What direction will they go? All right, on the clock now, the Bills. Okay, here we go. The Raiders now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Rams, and time is ticking. The Titans on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on. Okay, here we go. The 49ers now on the clock. All right, next up, the Bucs are on the clock. The Panthers now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. Okay, the Bears are on the clock now. Okay, the Texans up now. They're on the clock. The Lions on the clock now. What direction will they go? Okay, here we go. The Cardinals now on the clock. And now we turn to the Colts. It's their selection. Okay, the Ravens are on the clock now. The Seahawks are on the clock now. It's the Saints now on the clock. All right, it's the Eagles now on the clock. Okay, it's the Cowboys now on the clock. Okay, the Browns on the clock now. The Patriots on the clock right now. Let's see who they have their eye on. The Falcons are now on the clock. Okay, next up, it's the Broncos on the clock. Okay, the Chargers up now. They're on the clock. Okay, the Steelers on the clock now. And now on the clock, it's the Vikings. All right, it's now the Vikings' turn. They're up. The Chiefs on the clock now. All right, now on the clock, the Chargers. Now the Broncos are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? All right, next up, the Falcons are on the clock. All right, next up, the Patriots are on the clock. Now we turn to the Browns. They're on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Dolphins, and time is ticking. The Cowboys on the clock now. What direction will they go? All right, on the clock now, the Saints. Okay, next up, it's the Seahawks on the clock. The Ravens are up now. Let's see what direction they go. Okay, here we go. The Colts now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. All right, on the clock now, the Lions. The Texans are now on the clock. All right, the Bears are now on the clock. All right, the Packers are now on the clock. Now we turn to the Panthers. They're on the clock. Okay, it's the Bucks now on the clock. All right, it's now the 49ers' turn. They're up. The Titans now on the clock. And the Rams now on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? Okay, it's the Bills now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Raiders on the clock now. What direction will they go? All right, now on the clock, the Rams. On the clock now, it's the Titans. The 49ers on the clock now. What direction will they go? The Buccaneers are on the clock now. Okay, the Panthers on the clock now. Now the Packers are on the clock. Who do they have their eye on? The Bears are up now. Let's see what direction they go. All right, now on the clock, the Texans. It's the Lions now on the clock. All right, now it's the Cardinals' turn. They're up. The Colts are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. On the clock now, it's the Seahawks, and time is ticking. The Saints are on the clock now. What direction will they go? The Eagles are now on the clock. The Cowboys now on the clock. Okay, next up, it's the Dolphins on the clock. And the Browns on the clock now. Let's see what direction they go in. The Patriots are now on the clock. Okay, it's the Falcons now on the clock. All right, the Broncos are now on the clock. The Chargers now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are up now. Let's see what direction they go.